Hey everyone, this is Jess. I'm back with a brand new video for you. We're going to be covering the 4 steps of how you can actually increase your profitability on Airbnb. This is something that a lot of new hosts struggle with when they're first getting into Airbnb hosting, when they're creating their listing, and going through that whole process of making sure they're able to actually make enough money to cover their expenses, cover the mortgage, the utility bills on that property, and still maintain being profitable, right? That's the whole point of having an Airbnb business, is to get that passive or semi-passive, income that you really don't have to work for. So let's get rid of the stress and the headache of worrying about what to do to make your Airbnb unit profitable. Now, first off, my name is Jess. I'm a 5-star Airbnb superhost, and I've been helping new hosts implement proven strategies to maintain profitability on Airbnb, even in the toughest markets. So, we're going to solve the biggest problems in hosting, all right? Instead of throwing up a property on Airbnb and simply hoping for the best, like a lot of hosts do, what if there was actually a way for you to follow a strategic set of rules or a plan that guaranteed your unit would bring in consistent, reliable profit every single month? So that's what we're going to be getting into today. The problem here, guys, that we're going to talk about solving in 4 simple steps. The problem is achieving and maintaining the consistent, guaranteed revenue from Airbnb hosting. We know it's possible. We see it on social media all the time, but it's a process of actually getting there if you are a new host or you're a beginner in the Airbnb hosting space. So, what is the solution, guys? It's going to be to implement these 4 steps that we'll talk about in this quick video. These are going to have the greatest effect on your unit, and if it is going to be a successful, profitable unit, or if you're actually going to lose money. Okay. So, number one, your photos probably suck. And, I'm not, I know this is kind of phrased a little harshly, maybe, but when you go on Airbnb, it's very, very easy to tell from the guest experience, at least, which hosts, which units, which listings are professional, what I would call a grade A listing, right? Versus which hosts are less professional with their listing details, which properties maybe don't meet that higher standard that a lot of guests are looking for. So let's talk about this problem. Guys, if your photos were taken with your smartphone, then they are losing your money, or they are losing you money, right? Airbnb prioritizes listings with high quality, high resolution photos, showing your listing to more people and putting it at the top of search results. So when you go and upload your photos, I know it may seem like, well, my picture I took with my iPhone, looks great to me. But remember that Airbnb is prioritizing listings based on, or, a part of that is going to be based on the photos. So the solution here, or how to fix it, is going to be to use high quality, well lit photos that showcase your property's best features, include a variety of angles to give guests a comprehensive view of the space. And you want to use a professional grade camera, one that has high resolution, right? Or hire a real estate photographer for 100 or 200 bucks. It is really worth, if you don't have a nice camera and you want to hire a real estate professional, it is really worth the money on something like this, because Airbnb's algorithm is going to push those listings with higher quality photos to the top of the search results. So that determines how many people are going to see your listing. Okay, that's huge. If people don't see your listing and they don't find it, or it's way down, not in the first couple rows of results, then that is going to affect the likelihood or the chances of it getting booked. So number 2 is going to be that your description is mediocre at best. All right, so I can't tell you how many people I've helped mentor and coach, and how many listings I've looked at, that the description just isn't there. So remember, when people they see your listing, right, and they want to go look at it, they'll click on it. It'll open that into a bigger page, and that's where they will be able to see the description. Okay, so getting them there is going to be the photos, which we just talked about. But once they're there, you need to draw them in with your description. That is why photos is number one, description is number two. So often what I see, and let me go to the next slide here. So often what I see is that people will simply just rattle off highlights of their listings, and there's no structure. There's no bullet points, right? There's no creative writing skills implemented. It doesn't tell a story. It doesn't really give you information, right? It doesn't create a good outline or a good description of the property, even. So just listing off an amenity, comma, it has this, it has this, it has this. This is included. This is included. That may seem like a good way to go about your listing, but it's actually counterintuitive. If your description is too short, if it's lacking detail, or if it's just boring, then that is not going to bring people in. It's not going to make them interested in reading more. Right? So think about this. I don't care if your listing is not the greatest listing in the world. There is a way to go about doing that, or looking up some copywriting techniques or strategies to actually make that, even the most boring of listings or properties into something that is at least enjoyable to read from a professional standpoint, and it really describes the property in accuracy. So the solution here is to write a compelling description that highlights the unique aspects of your property, such as its location, amenities, and nearby attractions. You're going to want to use descriptive language to paint a picture for potential guests. Develop clear voice and structure in this piece of writing. It is a piece of writing. It may seem oversimplistic to just think of it as it's just my listing description, right? It's not that big of a deal. But this is all people have to go on when they're looking at your listing. This is it. It comes down to the photos, and it comes down to the description. That is what is going to help them determine, if they're even interested. So you guys remember that the photos and the description, like I mentioned, are the first pieces of information that a guest is going to see on your unit. That is why they take precedent over these next two things we're going to talk about. People are going to see the photo, and they're going to see that description first before they ever decide they want to book. Okay. So number three, let's talk about the issue of pricing. This is something I had a lot of issues with when I was starting my Airbnb journey. So your pricing is all over the place. Okay. A lot of Airbnb hosts can relate to this. That's why I was kind of joking here, but I put an arrow to that dismal person. I said, this is you, right? It's pathetic. It's sad. Then this was me as well. So I feel like I can make that joke. But if your nightly rate is too high, or if it's not high enough, let's back up. It's basically that you don't know if your nightly rate is too high or not high enough. There's a guessing game here, right, when it comes to new hosts and setting up their pricing structure. So there's a fine line between lowballing yourself, which is basically you leaving money on the table with every booking, and pricing yourself out of the market, meaning you're pricing yourself too high and it's not competitive anymore, right? That is a very fine line, and that's why a lot of hosts struggle with this. A very common issue to have. So how do we fix this? You want to do a little bit of research. You want to research similar listings in your area to ensure your pricing is competitive. Consider factors like seasonality, demand, and local events when setting your rates. Use market analysis tools and software to conduct research and implement an unbeatable pricing strategy. So it may seem like maybe setting the same rate is going to be good, every night of the week, weekends included, and you just have a one flat fee or one flat price every night of the week, right? That's how a lot of people start. They say, well, what do I want to price it at? And that's the price that they choose. There's very little market research that a lot of hosts do in this category. But your pricing is going to be one of the biggest things that helps you get bookings. It has to be competitive, especially nowadays with the kind of Airbnb surge, and there's a lot more properties than there used to be. So there's a lot more competition. And there's a lot of hosts out there that really know what they're doing. Okay, so if you are new to Airbnb, you need to make sure you get this locked down. You need to do your market research. You can use tools. You can use software. There's free software that you guys can use, so it's not like you have to go pay for anything. But you want to do that research, do your due diligence when it comes to setting up a pricing structure. Yet typically you'll see lower nightly prices during the week, right? Because the demand is less, and you'll see higher nightly prices during the weekends because the demand goes up. So that is kind of the basics of where it starts, but you need to develop a strategy of some sort. All right, so number 4, this is the last step, guys. Your listing offers nothing special whatsoever. So let's talk about this. You don't have a wow factor of your listing. This is a huge problem. Your listing isn't unique. You don't do anything special for your guests. Your listing looks the same as every other listing, and there is ultimately no reason why someone would choose your unit over the one next to it. Okay, so I see this all the time, and you guys do as well. If you go on the guest side of Airbnb, or if you're looking at VRBO or any of these other platforms, you see listings that are boring, whitewashed, bland. They're not interesting. The photos aren't captivating, right? And there's a lot of control that you have over this. So the next one is simply to try something different, right? The property that you have may not be unique as far as in an architectural sense. Maybe it's not a tiny house, or it's not a mansion, or it's not right on the beach, right? Maybe there's nothing architecturally or locationally different about your listing, but there are strategies you can still implement and still use to get over that hurdle of creating a unique environment, a unique space. So, what does this mean? You can try decorating it in a unique way. You can do a themed listing, like let's say it's near the football stadium and you want to do kind of a football experience, football getaway for all your stadium crowds that are going to be up there. Do something like that. You can create a 90s theme. If your home has like a movie theater, you can do like some type of movie theater theme, and have a bunch of DVDs and stuff. Guys, there's all types of ideas that you can research and figure out how to differentiate your property. And you can also offer personalized touches, like supplying your guests' favorite bottle of wine that's available for them upon arrival, right? That is going to be something that is unique. A lot of guests or a lot of hosts don't do that, but it's something your guest is going to appreciate. Or you can do things like including an experience with their booking. And this, of course, ranges from everything from having coupons to different events. Maybe it's horseback riding if you live out on a lot of land. Maybe you're a host and you're actually there, nearby the property. Maybe you want to give a tour of something, or there's something interesting to go do. Think about things like that. Kind of get the wheels going of what you can offer that is going to be different than everybody else. All right, so you want to ask yourself, what is the standout feature that makes someone say, wow, we need to see or experience this? So that's the question you should be asking when you're creating your listing. So that's it. Let's sum up this video, guys. Remember, these are the 4 things that you need to have on your Airbnb listing. And I'm going to include more information on this, of course, in the description below. If you haven't guessed already, I do have more content available for you guys. I have a full course where you can learn everything about Airbnb hosting that your heart ever desired, ever wanted to know. And I have a coupon code for you. So this is the first time I'm offering it on sale. Today's the first day. I'll put that coupon code in the description below. If you want to get half off of that course, then you should do it. It's only going to be around for a couple days, that discount. So I will put that in the description. If you go click the link, you can see exactly what the training modules include, right? You can read over everything that's included in there and then see if that is a decision that you want to make. And then make sure to use that discount code if so. So that's it, guys. If you have other questions about Airbnb hosting, please ask them in the comments, and I would love to help you on your Airbnb journey. So feel free to let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video.